Discharge is the process of printing down an ink that removes the dye of the garment and replaces it with another dye. So on a scientific level, you would refer to it as localized dyeing. You're removing that original dye, burning it out kind of like bleach, but you're not damaging the fabric itself and replacing it with a pigment. So with discharge colors, if you had a raw discharge, you would just get like a Guinness black and tan kind of off-white effect. With the white pigment or the ready-made discharge white, you get a really nice print like this. You can go ahead and feel that. Now, that's coming off the press. Once you wash that, you won't feel it anymore. It's now permanently a part of the garment. It's never gonna fade, it's never gonna braze off as long as you cure the garment completely and evaporate every bit of water from it. Here's our Zodiac discharge system where you'd add a PC to your base. This is the print we did at Made Lab. So typically when you print discharge, you're gonna wanna do 2 strokes of every color to make sure you saturate into that garment to bleach out all the dye that's there and replace it. We hit this with single strokes and held this halftone distress. So a lot of people would tell you, you can't hold it halftone, you can't hold distress. If you back off your pressure, you can. If you look here in the radials, we're able to keep those little halftone dots. Now a lot of people, as they're getting into water-based or discharge, they start out with a product called Plasticharge. So Plasticharge, you would add a high opacity plastisol ink to, and it hybrids it into a water base or a discharge. So you can use the inks that are already on your wall, add the discharge base, and get a water-based feel. Cool trick you want to keep in mind with this, you know, on press, you want to double stroke everything. Once you pick it off the dryer, you want to give it a quick pop, because you'll notice the old dye that was there is going to kind of rise up. You'll feel like a crustiness to the surface. By popping it off, you're getting close to that post-wash feel, to have that super soft hand. And that's what we're going for here, is a print that you can't feel. When you sweat, it's not going to stick to you. So here we have the discharge base and then the Rio Plastisol colors on top of it. So instead of adding the Plasticharge to all your colors and trying to keep several water-based screens open at the same time, you just have one water-based screen, discharging the underbase, removing the dye here that's native to the garment, and then printing Plastisol over top of it. Ignore the big applique on here. What I'm showing you on here is there's other special effects you can achieve with discharge by watering it down and spraying it. So none of this here is printed. You just pre-treat the shirt ahead of time. The guy that printed this put down just some textures across here to work as stencils, spray discharge. This is raw discharge. If you don't add pigment, you get this kind of what I call a Guinness black and tan effect. And then this here is just a red discharge. The other thing you can do, I call it satanic tie-dye, just because nobody ever sees like a tie-dye on a black shirt. If you take a black shirt, stick it on the table, give it a twist like this, and then start adding your colors that do spray the red discharge, the blue discharge, green, run that through your dryer, dry it completely, you've got a reverse discharge. Now people will come up to you and ask you how you did it, because everybody's seen tie-dye in a light color, but they're gonna think you did tie-dye on this dark color. We're tricking, we're creating an optical effect, but there's a lot of cool special effects you can do as an add-on to bring people into your shop and then sell them something more like this.